Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hitting Bags and Stealing Balls. Opening day weekend is officially over, and man, do we have some stuff to talk about. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each day, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to talk about some of the some of the topics that, are worth talking about, I guess. Some of the highlights, some of the star players, over the weekend, just kind of going through, some good stats, some bad stats, and then at the end of it, I'm going to go over the series, tell you who won the series, if there was any sweeps, which, spoiler alert, there were, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about today. There's just a couple players, making their debut today, so I think some of you guys should check that out. And then that'll be pretty much it. I'm hoping it's not going to take too long, but there is quite a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't think I'm going to talk about every series going forward. They play 162 games. I work full time, so obviously I'm not going to have the time to get on here, 2 or 3 times a week and talk about everything. But I'm going to try to get on here at least once a week. So maybe every 2 series, so, every 6, 7 games played, you should hear from me. But it's opening day weekend, so we definitely got to talk about some stuff. So first, let's start in New York, all right? So obviously the Yankees, hosted the Brewers starting Thursday. Nothing of note really happened that game, okay? It was just, Devin Williams came in. He got his first save as a Yankee against his former team. That was cool to watch, although he was definitely nervous. He almost blew it there for a minute. Friday, they didn't play, which I'm not sure why MLB does that. You'll notice not every team, but some teams, they make their season debut on Thursday, okay, opening day, get Friday off, and then go back to playing. I'm not really sure why they do that. That's odd to me, but the Yankees were off Friday. Then they come back Saturday and immediately become the talk of Major League Baseball. So, if you haven't noticed, they have been destroying the ball, okay? So, some of them are using these new torpedo bats, which is legal, okay? It's legal in Major League Baseball. I'm not sure why this hasn't already been used. I guess teams just haven't really been thinking about it. But basically, what it is the bat's a little weirdly shaped, okay? And they take more of the wood from the end of the bat and they move it down to the barrel. So where the ball makes direct contact with the bat, that sweet spot isn't at the end. It's more towards the middle of the barrel, and they just add more wood there. So it makes, direct contact with the ball, and it drives the ball farther, and we've seen that with the Yankees so far. And people, of course, are against it just because the Yankees are the team that's using it. We're going to see more teams, more players use it, unless Major League Baseball does step in and is like, okay, like, now these are officially illegal. You can't do this. But we saw Ryan Jeffers use it Sunday. We saw Ryan Jeffers use it Sunday, who's the catcher for the Twins. And, yeah, so the Yankees on Saturday tied their record for most home runs hit in a game. Okay, they hit 9. Aaron Judge had a 3-run home run game, although he doesn't use a torpedo bat. He's just Aaron Judge, okay? I want to make that clear. And then to start the game, so Nestor Cortez started for the Brewers, who, most of you should know, came over from the Yankees in the offseason in that Devin Williams trade. And he got hammered. The first 3 pitches of the game, Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, and Aaron Judge go back to back to back to start the game. Okay, and yeah, it was just an elite showing. They just crushed the ball. And then on Sunday, they came back and they hit some more home runs. Aaron Judge hits another one, of course. And then they ended up in the 3-game series against the Brewers hitting 15 home runs, which is an MLB record, or they tied the MLB record for the most in the first 3 games of the season. So yeah, they're definitely going to be eyeing the torpedo bats. Okay, and again, like I said, not all of them use it. Judge doesn't use it, but they asked Trevor Miguel. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. Who's a pitcher for the Brewers? They asked him before the Sunday game what his thoughts were on it, and he made a comment I didn't really like. Look, I'm a Yankees fan, okay, and I understand that. Most viewers that are watching this already are gonna not like me as much because I'm a Yankees fan. But he came out and he said they'll get away with it because they're the Yankees. And I don't like that comment. And the reason I don't isn't necessarily because the Yankees haven't done dirty things in the past. They have, okay? But it's legal. You can't make a comment like that if any team can do it. All right? Just because another team hasn't done it doesn't mean that they're cheating. I mean, if it's within the rules of the game, then you can't get mad at them for it. And I don't think it's going to stick for very long. I will say that. So I'm on his side for that. I do think eventually it's going to get banned. But like I said, Ryan Jeffers has already started using it. Okay? And so I don't like the comment, but I get where he's coming from. It's frustrating. Your team, spoiler alert, the Yankees swept the Brewers. And so I get it, but I wasn't a fan. I don't like comments like that. We already have such a bad picture painted on the Yankees franchise, and so when you make a comment like that when we're not cheating, it's very frustrating as a fan. But let's move on. We talked Yankees Brewers, so let's go to the next topic, from opening day. So the A's opened the season in Seattle. Logan Gilbert was the opening day starter for Seattle, and he threw the ball, okay? So he goes 7 innings. He strikes out 8. He allows 1 earned run, 0 walks, 2 hits. Okay, so yeah, for those of you who, don't really pay attention to the wide scope of Major League Baseball, they just kind of focus on their team. Seattle has quite the pitching factory, and I would say a lot of people would put George Kirby at the top of that. I would put Logan Gilbert, okay? I think he's elite. I know my episode, with the awards and the World Series pick hasn't come out yet. Spoiler alert, I have him winning the AL Cy Young. Okay, Logan Gilbert is just an elite pitcher. He's fun to watch, and so he shut the A's down. But I think what's more exciting to the average fan, okay, everybody loves a good bat slam, bat flip. Randy Arozarena has an elite bat flip, bat smash, whatever you want to call it. He slams that bat down. Okay, so go watch that. He hits a game-tying home run in the 8th, okay, against the A's, and it's electric. All right, it is definitely electric. It's tough to hit in that park, man. Seattle is a very tough park to hit in. So to start the season off like that, it was definitely electric. So go look that up. A lot of people don't like that. I don't have a problem with it. It's the start of the season, the stadium sold out, or at least as close to being sold out as it probably, would be all season. And, it's a fun sport. So he had some fun with it, but good for him. Good for Seattle to start the season like that. And now we'll go to the next game on Thursday. Mets open the season in Houston against the Astros, and this is going to be a quick one. This is just kind of me as a Yankees fan being a hater, but the game had the chance to be tied, okay, in the top of the 9th. Juan Soto was up. There were 2 outs, but there was a runner on 3rd and 2nd, I believe, and I think they were down by 2. But Josh Hader comes in to close it out, who had a down year last year, but Josh Hader is still Josh Hader. He's been an elite closer for close to a decade, I want to say. He is getting up there in age, but he comes in, immediately throws 3 balls to Juan Soto, okay, which first base is open, like I said, and so no harm, no foul if you walk him. Well, then he gets Juan Soto to chase outside the zone on 3 straight pitches for a strikeout to end the game. And, of course, a lot of people were, saying he ain't got it. Juan Soto still has it, which the next day on Friday, he hit a home run. Okay, first home run as a Met. So yes, Juan Soto still has it, but that was definitely fun to watch to start the season. I gotta be a hater here for a minute. So I like that one, but we'll go to the next game because that's not really a big topic. I just wanted to bring that one up. Sorry, Mets fans. But next game, the Reds. Okay, the Reds host the Giants to start the season, and they did Reds things. So the Reds go into the top of the ninth with the lead. Okay, it's only a 3-2 lead, but for those of you that don't know, their closer Alexis Diaz is on the injured list to start the season, and he's pretty good, when he plays, but they don't really have a closer right now. So they bring in somebody named Ian Gibbett. I'm butchering that. I know I am. Sorry, but they bring him in to close the game, and he blows it. And of course, on opening day, the Reds lose in Reds fashion. It's so rough to watch, man. But their closer's hurt, so they're trying to figure things out. It's not totally their fault, but that guy is clearly not going to close any more games out for them. So Reds blow the first game of the season. So next up, we've got the Pirates at Marlins, and we've got one very weird thing to talk about, and then we've got kind of a fun thing, for the Marlins, not for Pirates fans. So obviously, Paul Skeens started opening day. He had an okay start. He didn't get hammered, but he also didn't shut Miami out. But the two topics I wanted to talk about was Nick Gonzalez, an infielder for the Pirates, broke his ankle on a home run swing. Okay? I didn't notice where he broke it. I noticed after he hit it that he immediately started wobbling around the bases. He made it around the bases, but clearly had some pain. So I think it was a fracture. I'm not 100% sure. We'll know once, he gets his MRI and that comes out. I'll bring that up at a later episode. But, yeah, so if you want to watch that video, it's from opening day. It was very odd. But we'll move on to the next topic. And Miami had a walk-off fever this weekend. So they played 4 games against the Pirates. They walked them off on opening day. Lost Friday. Then they walked them off Saturday. And then walked them off on a wild pitch on Sunday. So they had 3 walk-offs to start the season. And that's pretty wild, especially for a team like Miami who isn't supposed to be very good. Which, they were playing the Pirates. We know how the Pirates lineup is. It's not very exciting. But yeah, so Miami, good start to the season. That's pretty fun. But other than that, there's not really much to talk about that series. Next up, we're going to go to Toronto, where the Baltimore Orioles are in Toronto to face the Blue Jays. And they crushed the ball to start the season, okay? They hit 6 home runs in the season opener. All right, Baltimore did. And Tyler O'Neill, who is now in Baltimore, hit his 5th straight, I believe it's either 4th or 5th straight opening day home run. Okay, I'm not sure. That's a crazy stat, okay? Because to do that for that many years in a row on opening day, I thought that was a pretty cool stat. Okay, Tyler O'Neill is built like an absolute just tank, dude. Okay, he's going to hit home runs. He's got some great power. It's just whether or not he can stay healthy all season. But to start the season, he showed exactly what he can bring to the city of Baltimore. So that's going to be fun for them. Good for him to stay on that streak. I love weird streaks like that. It's what makes the game of baseball, fun to watch. But other than that, there's not too much to really talk about in that series. Especially not, on opening day. So now we'll go to Friday, okay? And there were a couple things to talk about on Friday. So on Friday, as I mentioned, Juan Soto hit his first home run as a Met. The Rays walked off the Rockies. Then Jack Leiter for Texas made his debut, who I think is going to be the next guy for Texas coming up after DeGrom, because DeGrom probably doesn't have many years left. he had a solid start to the season. 5 innings pitched. He only allowed 1 earned run against Boston. So he looked good in his first start of the season. Then you have the A's handing it to the Mariners. Brent Rooker hit his first home run of the season, and they shut the Mariners out, won 7-0. So that was definitely a good second game of the season for the A's. And then you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, okay, making his second start of the season against the Tigers. He struck out 10 in 5 innings pitched. And then the Dodgers actually ended up walking the Tigers off. So Mookie Betts had an excellent night. He had 2 home runs. He went 3 for 5, including the walk-off home run. He hit a 3-run walk-off bomb. So if you haven't seen that video clip, go watch that. Mookie Betts is a very exciting player to watch, okay? The Dodgers are really, really good. All right, so definitely watch that clip. And then the last thing I want to talk about on Friday isn't big news, but James Italian made the start for the Cubs against the Diamondbacks. Got absolutely hammered, gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. The Diamondbacks had 14 hits, and they won 8-1. Look, this is the best offense in baseball. It has been for the last 2 years, okay? And they're going to continue to score runs. So that doesn't really surprise me. We're going to see a lot of Arizona box scores like that, okay? But that's it for Friday. Just a couple quick topics. Next up on Saturday, we've already discussed the Yankees, okay? They obviously just destroyed the ball. So I'm not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about next is Max Scherzer ended up leaving the game after 3 innings, I believe it was. He gave up 2 runs, which isn't horrible, but he's back on the IL, unfortunately, okay? Which he's getting up there in age. It is unfortunate to see, but I predicted that he probably wasn't going to pitch much in the regular season. If they make the postseason, that's really why they got Max Scherzer. But Bo Bichette went 4 for 4. So is he back? Last year he was battling some injury. He obviously had the worst, season of his career. This guy is a 300 hitter, usually yearly. Last year he fell off big time, but he's going into a contract year. He's healthy, or at least, that's what he's presumed to be, is fully healthy. And is he back? That's the main question. Going 4 for 4. It's only the 3rd game of the season. I get that. But just keep an eye on Bo Bichette, man, because I do think if he's fully healthy like he's supposed to be, we're gonna see him hit above 300 again. But that's really all for the Toronto Orioles game. Next up, Jose Ramirez leaves the Guardians game with an injury. And I don't think it's severe, which is great news for Guardians fans and baseball fans. I mean, Jose Ramirez is one of the most exciting players to watch in baseball. So we definitely don't want him to get hurt, but he did leave the game. He didn't play yesterday. He didn't play on Sunday, but I think they have an off day today, so maybe he'll be back tomorrow. We'll see, but it was a wrist sprain, I think. So he shouldn't miss too much time, but just keep an eye on that. And then next up, we had a pitching duel between the Braves and the Padres. Okay, Spencer Schwellenbach and Randy Vasquez both went 6-inning pitch, 0 earned runs. Love a good pitcher's duel, okay? Most fans don't, but pitching is exciting to watch when it's elite. And then Manny Machado left the game with an injury. Again, I don't think it's severe. Might miss a couple days, but something to keep an eye on because he's probably going to be the driving force in that Padres offense this season. Next up, we have another A's at Mariners topic, okay? So Seth Brown took 5 pitches for balls, and nobody noticed. So after the 4 pitches, you're supposed to walk. He didn't walk, and not the pitcher, not the umpire, not the managers. Nobody noticed. All right. Then the 5th ball comes, and then he finally goes to first. So that was definitely an odd one. I've never seen that before. So that was that was definitely pretty funny. But other than that, I want to talk about the A's for a minute because their pitching to start the season was really impressive. Okay, so as you know, they went out, they got Jeffrey Springs, they got Luis Severino to be at the top of that rotation. Okay, and then they have Beto, who made the 3rd start of the season. And They pitched 17 innings, okay, their starters to start the season, and only allowed 1 earned run. Okay, and that's exactly what I talked about in my rankings video. The A's went out and they got pitching. Okay, it's just whether or not that pitching can pitch to where they're expected to pitch. And to start the season, they did. I mean, to be fair, they were playing the Mariners, not an elite offense, okay? And in a pitcher's park in Seattle, it's hard to hit the ball there. But, I mean, guys, that's to get that out of your starting pitching to start the season, I think A's fans are pretty excited. So we'll see how that turns out. Very well, the next starts, all 3 of them guys could get absolutely hammered. We'll see. But keep that in mind that to start the season, the A's starting pitching is looking top tier. So next up, a couple quick topics. All right, we already talked about the Marlins walking it off against the Pirates again. We got Dansby Swanson making an incredible heads-up play, okay, against the D-backs. So you absolutely have to watch that. To end the game, he's won a Gold Glove for a reason, okay? Dansby Swanson is the real deal defensively. So that was definitely very, very cool to watch. I shared that on some of my social media, which if you're not following my social media, definitely give me a follow. I'm on X, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Instagram. Okay? So please give those all a follow. I'll share clips, It's definitely just a quick way to keep up if you don't got time to watch hour-long videos of me talking baseball, okay? Next up, Rafael Devers is not starting the season very hot. So at this point, he had broken an MLB record, becoming the first player to strike out 10 times in the first 3 games of the season. Okay? I'll go ahead and skip to Sunday, too, on this topic, because he struck out 2 more times, so he's got 12 strikeouts. He's 0 for 16 to start the season through the first 4 games, okay? They played all 4 games. Look, he obviously got moved off a third. He's a DH now. It's going to take time to adjust, all right? He also just had shoulder surgery, which that's not going to help. He's going to be fine. Rafael Devers is an elite hitter, okay? Everybody that has watched Boston knows that. Even as a Yankees fan, I know what Devers is. He's going to be fine. It's going to take some time, okay? Everybody has to adjust. Nerves get to people. Baseball can be an emotional game, which we'll talk about on our next topic. But as far as Devers, it's tough to see him start out that way. There was the picture going viral of him after the game with his head down. He's feeling it, but Devers will be fine. All right, so Boston fans, I don't think you have anything to worry about. Another emotional thing to talk about is Roki Sasaki still struggling with control for the Dodgers. Okay, he made his second start of the season against Detroit, and he got pulled pretty early. Okay, I mean, he walked 4 and gave up 3 hits in only 1.2 innings. All right, he's averaging 2 walks an inning to start his career, which, I mean, he's only pitched, I think, 6 or 7 innings so far. But look, again, there was a video of him crying in the dugout, which you hate to see that. I mean, he's a young kid. He's 23 years old, but he's going to be fine, man. It's part of coming over here. We saw Yamamoto get hammered in his season debut last year, against the Pirates, absolutely destroyed. This kid has elite stuff, okay? We saw it a little bit in the Tokyo series against the Cubs. He's going to be fine. I don't think Dodgers fans have to worry. I don't think he has to worry. Yamamoto, Ohtani, they're going to be there for him. It hurts to see, somebody so young struggle already with that, confidence, crying in the dugout. But he's going to be fine, man. And I look forward to seeing him be good. Even though he's with the Dodgers, which everybody was mad about, I don't think people should be rooting against this kid still. So I'm looking forward to seeing him bounce back, which I know he will. And so that pretty much covers that. But next up, a couple fun topics on Sunday. So the Diamondbacks ran out of position players. So they had Ryan Nelson, who's a pitcher there, come in the 8th to hit, and he hit an RBI single, which just... Look, guys, the Diamondbacks are the real deal. Okay? So I'm not surprised that they have pitchers hitting RBI singles. That's pretty much, that offense, man. So good for them. That was a little bit of fun. Watch that clip if you get a chance. And then DeGrom made his debut for Texas, okay, against the Red Sox. Only pitched 5 innings, but of course, he shut him out. Nobody's really surprised. I'm curious how long he can go without getting hurt. Obviously, I don't want him to get hurt, but I assume he's going to be on a pitch count. Like I said, he only pitched 5 innings. That's probably how it's going to be the first month of the season. But it's just, guys, we know how DeGrom is. He's the best of the best when he's healthy, but how long is that going to last, But that was a good series between Texas and Boston to start the year. So we'll move on to the next series, or the next game on Sunday. Braves at Padres. Okay, we haven't talked about them really yet, but other than Manny Machado getting hurt, Nick Pivetta comes in for the Padres, throws 7 innings, shutout ball, only allowed 1 hit, and the Padres ended up sweeping the Braves. Okay, didn't expect that, but great showing from Nick Pivetta. Okay, they got him dirt cheap. So if he pitches like that for most of the season, Padres fans are going to be happy about that one. Good for him. And then Mitchell Parker throws 6 1/3 scoreless innings for the Nationals, and the Nationals ended up winning that game to salvage the series against the Phillies. So good for Mitchell Parker. That's definitely a good start to the season for him. Obviously, Nationals are a bunch of young kids. I wanted to put them higher in my power rankings, but they do have a lot of question marks. Okay, but they salvaged the series, start 1-2, and Mitchell Parker looked pretty good. So there's that to look forward to. Then you have somebody that didn't look good. Okay, Bailey Ober on Sunday gave up 8 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Okay, and the Cardinals swept the Twins, which I honestly thought that was going to go the other way. I had the Twins pretty high in my power rankings. Again, only the first series of the season. I know that's true with all these teams. But 8 runs in 2 2/3 inning is not good against the Cardinals lineup, okay? So we'll have to see, if he kind of gets it together going into the season. But yeah, bad start. Bad start for him and the Twins. Definitely not how you want to start the season. So next up, I'll just go over the series real quick. I already mentioned a couple, series sweeps, but I'll just go over basically how it started for every team this season, now that the small topics are over with. So the Yankees swept the Brewers in 3 games. Okay, they were all Friday. Then you have the Cardinals sweeping the Twins. All right, again, only 3 games. The Dodgers swept the Tigers. Okay, so the Dodgers are 5-0 to start the season. So that's that's fun. Then you have a 4-game sweep, as I just mentioned. The Padres sweeping the Braves. So those are all the sweeps. Then you've got a couple split series. Okay, so the Orioles and the Blue Jays both took 2. Then you have the Diamondbacks and the Cubs. They both took 2. And then the Mariners and the A's each took 2. So those are the sweeps and the splits, and then we'll get to the rest. So the Phillies took 2 out of 3 from the Nationals. The Giants took 2 out of 3 from the Reds. The Rays take 2 out of 3 from the Rockies. The Guardians take 2 out of 3 from the Royals. The Astros take 2 out of 3 from the Mets. The Angels take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Then you got the 4-game series. So the Rangers took 3 out of 4 from Boston. And then the Marlins took 3 out of 4 from the Pirates, which were all walk-offs, as I discussed. And so, yeah, that pretty much sums up opening day weekend. So, definitely some clips I mentioned that I want you guys to check out. It was a pretty fun opening start of the season, especially for me. And I definitely look forward to seeing the Yankees absolutely destroy the ball some more. Don't know how long the torpedo bats are going to last, but we'll see. However, just two guys I want you to check out today if you get a chance. So they're making their debuts in 2025. So you got Brady Singer making his 2025 debut for the Reds. Okay, he came over in that Jonathan India trade. Definitely think that's one to keep an eye on. He'll be pitching at home against the Rangers. So keep an eye on that. And then Jackson Jobe, who I think is the real deal. I mean, he's basically another Tarek Skubal, okay, for the Tigers. Now, he's still young, so it'll probably take a while for him to blossom into something like that, but he makes his 2025 debut. He did pitch 4 innings last year, but I mean, that's, 4 innings isn't anything. So he makes his debut for the Tigers against the Mariners in Seattle. So he's in a pitcher's park against a lineup that's below average, but we'll see. So those are 2 guys I want you to check out today if you get the chance, or just keep an eye on. But yeah, I mean, that sums up opening day weekend. I'm very excited for baseball, guys. I mean, it's back. Baseball is back, and we already had some fun storylines to start the season. So stay tuned. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be doing every series. I'll probably try to bunch it up into one, longer episode. That way, just because with my work schedule, I can't be doing this 2-3 times a week, okay? I wish I could, but I just can't be. I don't have the time. But stay tuned for more episodes, just discussing what's been going on in baseball. Obviously, I got to put out my awards and World Series pick. Okay, I already spoiled some awards in this episode, but stay tuned for that. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for the support. Share, let your friends know. Just a like on all my videos, a follow on Spotify, subscribe, comment, let me know what you're looking forward to, and just it just supports me so much, you guys. So thank you. Stay tuned. I'm looking forward to a very, very fun season.